Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Irene and I create videos about K-pop auditions every single Sunday. But in today's video, I have two new audition tutorials with you guys here today. They're not necessarily new auditions per se, but I wanted to share them with you guys because they are very anticipated. A lot of you guys have been commenting about making videos like this, so I figured I would bring it to you guys. And that first company is obviously KQ Entertainment. Everyone and their mom asks for KQ Entertainment, and I think it might be because they are a pretty good company. I actually ranked them pretty high on my K-pop company tier list video. KQ Entertainment is kind of known for being one of the top companies. Like, their CEO really cares about them. If you guys don't know them already, they're pretty much known for their boy group ATEEZ that debuted back in 2018. And then in 2023, they also debuted a group called Psychers. So they're known for those two groups mainly. And then the next company was actually recommended by one of you guys. Now, I've heard of this company and the group, but I didn't really know much about it. But through this opportunity, I did a little bit more research. And basically, the company is called Beetle Entertainment, and they have one group under their label called OneVerse. And it's really unique because all 5 of their members are not like pure Korean, and they all have like really cool, unique backgrounds to them. So 2 of them are actually North Korean defector members. Isn't that crazy? Maybe you guys have heard of this, maybe you haven't. They're a smaller group for sure, but they've got members from North Korea, the US, Japan, and then China/America. So a very global group, as you can see. So it would be perfect for you guys if you're also auditioning as someone who isn't South Korean. I feel like some of you guys might know them simply because they're really popular on YouTube, and if you're watching this video on YouTube, maybe you've heard of them or something. Alright, for more audition tutorials, check out the playlist in my description, and let's get started with the video. Okay, so why don't we first start off with Beetle Entertainment. So firstly, search up exactly that in your Google, and we're going to utilize 2 sources. So firstly, their website as well as their Instagram. So if you want, open up tabs for both. It's kind of those auditions where it's a little bit hidden per se, but basically you can know more about OneVerse on their website. You know, you've got all the members here, but what we're looking for is the audition, of course. So click onto more and then the audition tab, and it just shows us this page. So it says currently accepting applications, male artists born in 2002 or younger. And you'd think this apply button, you know, gives you a Google form or like another link where you can submit your information, but unfortunately it isn't that. So honestly, clicking onto this is only going to give you the email that you need to email them to. So what I did was find their old auditions and kind of see like what kind of format they want this audition in, etc. So if you click onto here, you'll be able to see that they were looking for a boy group, like boy group members basically. This was actually before OneVerse debuted. So OneVerse, I think, debuted like here-ish, which was September 2024. So this audition is older, but as it's still on their website, I'm going to take it as they're still accepting applications, but only for male members. So they've got rap, vocal, and dance. And then it says send your performance video, any of these 3 categories, to admin@singingbeetle.com. Now this email here actually leads us to contact@singingbeetle.com, so I would just send it to both for security measures. And then what you're going to name the file is going to be your name, underscore your age, underscore your category. So it says here like Kim Beetle 21 vocal. And the categories, like I mentioned, are vocal, rap, dance. If you have any questions, you can email admin@singingbeetle.com. I think it's just one of those where you could just have to assume that you want to submit 3 photos and 1 video of your category. Pretty simple, but I know it's a little bit sketch. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta do sketch things to get the offers you want. Alright, now we're going to move on to KQ Entertainment. So to search up KQ Entertainment, it leads you to their website. Now their audition page is also quite outdated. So that's why I haven't really made an updated video on them, simply because it doesn't really look like they are actively like really looking for new trainees, which is weird because they're a pretty active company as well, but maybe just they focus more so on in-person auditions at academies, for example. Just kind of depends on the company. Some companies really prioritize online auditions and host those like every single month, whereas others like KQ Entertainment kind of hold back on them. We don't know. Maybe there's not that many people in their audition team in the first place. So this is actually all in Korean, so I'm gonna have to translate it. Unfortunately, there's no tab where you can change it to English either. But KQ Entertainment is looking for idols, producers, songwriters, and like songwriters, song producers in different categories, and looking for people who are really talented in each of these categories. we're looking for the next generation Korean wave idols, blah, 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 looking for your application. So what you're going to do is email this address here, and you can actually download the audition form in the doc format. So if you just click on this one, it'll lead you to the download. Now, I've already opened this before because this form is same as it was like a couple of years ago, but let's open this guy up. So this is the audition form, pretty straightforward, but let's just go through it together. It is only one page actually, which is nice. So you're gonna pick your category, your date, your name in Korean, and then English here, and then your date of birth / age, your gender, your address, your phone, your mobile number, your email, your occupation, and if you are in school, you can write that as well, like what grade you're in. If you're in university, maybe also include what you're studying if you feel like it'll be of benefit. So like if you're studying music education, if you're studying like, I don't know, musical theater, something cool like that. If you're just studying like, I don't know, philosophy, maybe don't include that, just say you're in university and what year you're in. Include your height and your weight, your blood type, your hobbies and talents. How to differentiate them is talents will be relevant to this idol job. So if you consider beatboxing as your hobby, I don't know, something that's so relevant, but I mean, it is kind of relevant. So include beatboxing as a talent, but if you like sewing and crocheting, that might go into the hobbies category. Here you're going to include your activities and awards, and down here it says including auditions. So if you've made it to a certain stage at an audition where you think it's significant enough to include, if you've been on a survival show before, if you have other activities that you've done that are related to the K-pop industry, include that. Like you've won a singing competition, for example. If it's like a school competition, maybe not. I feel like I would just use your judgment to see if it's a relevant enough experience and also significant enough. Here you're going to include your self-introduction and hopes and dreams. And you might be wondering like, oh, that's probably like a poor translation. Like, why does it sound so funny? Hopes and dreams. But no, that's the actual translation of what they put here. Hopes and dreams. So kind of talking about like why you want to become an idol in the first place. What made you start this journey? What motivates you day to day? Things like that. And obviously make it stand out because everyone's going to say they grew up watching K-pop or they really fell into K-pop a couple of years ago and decided this is the opportunity for me because I love being on stage. Like they probably read those every single day. So think of something that really stands out to you and take some time to brainstorm these ideas. All right, so this is the audition form. So I realized you can Google Translate this, but the translation might be a little bit funky, but it seems good to me. Okay, so the first document screening is when you download the application form, fill it out, and attach the front, side, and full body photo of yourself, left and right, and then submit it to the representative email address, which we discussed was this one here. The second round is individual notification and private audition for those who passed the first round, and then their third round is going to be individual notification will be given to those who pass the second individual audition. And then your audition field is going to be a singer category and the producer category. So that is including of dancing within singing as well. So to become a singer, they kind of mean like an idol. So when you put your category here, make sure you either include singer or producer. Also, it doesn't matter that it's in English except for this part where they do want your name in Korean. So just Romanize it basically. So for the singer category, they say auditions can be submitted with singing, dancing, or original compositions without accompaniment, instrument, or microphones. And then for the producer category, submit your lyric writing documents and your composition demo files in your file as well. Make sure it's a final project. So it doesn't include just your lyrics or just a beat. Make sure it's a final song that you're really, really proud of, because otherwise it's really difficult for them to accept you with just a beat or just the lyrics. Like they're never going to accept a producer just based on one sheet of lyrics. Simply put, that's just not enough for them to want to recruit you, especially a big company like KQ Entertainment. Now, some precautions here. Photoshop photos will not be accepted. Live recordings can be made via karaoke, cell phone recordings, and other recording mediums, but avoid excessive echo. And video recordings are optional in terms of dancing, singing, etc. If you do not hear from us for more than 2 weeks, you will be considered disqualified. So that is all of the information for their audition. Just feel free to email them here with this and then also your photos and videos. I think someone in my last video literally commented, please make more audition tutorials. So I've come with that today. I like to balance it out with audition tutorials and audition information videos. So maybe next week will be something related to auditions, like information. All right. Until then, you guys, see you next week. Bye.